Trailers in gaming are important. Very important. Extremely important. They get the hype train rolling and set a bar of expectations that can live up to the game's eventual release. From good trailers to bad, cinematic reveals to gameplay-focused follow-ups, we owe it to trailers to get us excited about that brand spanking new game and fork over our hard-earned cash to those multi-billion-dollar companies. So, in honor of such, let's take a look at a random assortment of trailers, and then you guys can subscribe to me, and we'll all be a lot happier. Alright, let's go! Back in the day, video game trailers were...
It even slices and dices, makes thousands of julienne fries.
Interesting, to say the least. Gaming back then was a new niche form of entertainment, which was true even in the 90s to an extent, and the style of the ads reflected that to a T. Back then, it was anything goes, really. You got a teacher scolding Sonic the Hedgehog, Pokemon being crushed in a bus, a party going on in that classic Dreamcast, and a man eating until he literally explodes. What? Yoshi's Island, one of the greatest games on the SNES and one of the greatest games ever made, has one of the most downright horrific commercials I've ever seen. A man is shown eating so much food, it would even make Nikocado avocado jealous until he, as said before, explodes. And I don't mean a measly pop, this man practically goes nuclear. And everything he eats just goes everywhere. It looks straight out of a horror movie. The camera is just all up in his business too, making sure you see everything this guy shoves down his throat. It's nasty. As horrifically disgusting as it is, I honestly welcome stuff more akin to this over some normal commercial just telling you about the game, which this ad does well. While you get to see this man overeat himself to death, you're told about there being 60 levels to explore, giant enemies, and a plethora of moves Yoshi can perform. Overall, it's just more memorable than a lot of other ads out there, and it highlights the style these ads were rocking at the time. It wasn't just about telling you what this game had to offer, it was about finding an interesting, memorable, and creative way to do it. Compare this to another Yoshi title, Woolly World.
Whoshi! It's a double Yoshi explosion!
I mean, yeah, I get the gist of the game, but that's it. This ad personifies the bare minimum. It looks like they made it in half an hour, brought it to a higher up, and they just went, yeah, that'll do. There's no charm, there's no personality, completely cookie cutter. It's like my own content. It doesn't even compare to the, once again, terrifying, but way more interesting Yoshi's Island commercial. And speaking of interesting, Majora's Mask, a 54-minute time limit to beat the game, a creepy moon, and a Happy Mask salmon. Oh god, get off me! With a game as unique as Majora's Mask, the commercials must have been no different, right? Oh yeah, in early 2000, gamers were met with a grim commercial of the game, as a man would inform the viewer that there'd be 72 hours before the world ends, telling them that they're all they got. They, no, you, are the one who can save the world, or die trying. Cop cars and fire trucks are seen speeding through cities, radios telling the public to make some phone calls and bid your loved ones one last goodbye. Do you have what it takes to save the world? It is a trip, this commercial, and one of the most surreal ads for a video game I've ever seen. It's not here to get you excited or hyped per se, it's here to get you invested, intrigued. It wants you to feel the pressure before you even play it, and it does that perfectly. The tone, the structure, the style, everything about this ad is near perfection. It's amazing. But you know what it's missing? The Hardy Boys. This is as good a transition as any video game ads with celebrities, or in this case, wrestling icons Matt and Jeff Hardy. The ad cuts to shots of people watching in subdued panic as a single kid attempts to beat Majora's Mask, just like the last trailer. The ad then cuts to the Hardy Boys in the middle of a match, before stopping entirely to watch the kid themselves, with Matt exclaiming,
"He's got 72 hours to save the world."
This is probably one of the weirder examples of celebrity involvement, because it just comes completely out of left field. It's for a pay-per-view sweepstakes, but it just feels so weird to have them there. The ad is all like, "The end is near. Only you can save the world. Pray to whatever god you believe in." Hardy Boys, yeah, look at them, so cool. Oh wow, awesome. Moving on from that and onto a more recent example, Far Cry 6, a series known for its masterfully written villains, raises that bar even higher by having world-famous actor, I'm probably going to butcher this, Giancarlo Esposito, known for playing Gustavo Fring in Breaking Bad and Moff Gideon in The Mandalorian, take the forefront as the game's main antagonist. The ad itself, while most known for the ending, which has been memed to death, is actually super well done. Of course it is. Esposito's acting is great, but his lines are also another point of discussion. He taunts you, makes fun of the weapons and tactics you use, while at the same time the ad is showing off how cool those things actually are. You can get a jetpack that just engulfs everything around you in flames, you steal their tanks and wreak havoc on them. It's a genius way to both have the villain diminish the player and showcase how fun the game is. Excellent. Shot well, writing is great. These trailers are just entertaining to watch. They make you want to buy them, which reminds me of another kind of video game trailer. Or kinds, if you will. Probably the coolest kind of trailer out there, the cinematic trailer. I mean, just the thought alone is cool. You have this game that's coming out, you need to get people hyped, so let's just make an entire short film for it. Why not? Just make something so beautifully animated and so masterfully crafted, you'll wonder why it isn't just a movie or TV show. There's plenty of examples to choose from, but the first I want to talk about is the DC Universe Online trailer. This trailer goes so hard, feel free to screenshot. In an attempt to lure Superman out of exile, Lex Luthor and a plethora of other villains take it to the Justice League in the remains of a destroyed city. I only found out about this trailer recently, and it is hands down one of, if not the best I've ever seen. It's so brutal and unapologetically hardcore, and it doesn't feel forced either. Here's some examples of just how insane this trailer is. It opens to the dead bodies of Green Arrow and Poison Ivy. Harley Quinn is wearing Robin's cape, insinuating that she killed him and is wearing it as a trophy. Black Adam kills himself in order to take out both Green Lantern and Flash. Deathstroke straight up hangs Batman with the lasso of truth, which causes the Joker to just fire a rocket at him. Lex uses the blood-curdling cry of Wonder Woman to lure Superman out of his pre-mentioned exile, fills her mouth with kryptonite to weaken Superman, and impales him with a kryptonite spear. With Superman dead, Brainiac moves in and begins to take over the planet, which causes Lex to go back in time and enlist the help from the Justice League of the past in order to stop Brainiac from taking over the Earth in the future. Honestly, I could just move on from here. The premise alone is cool enough, but this trailer is just the icing on the cake. It gives off such a desperate tone and has this chaotic feeling of loss the entire time. This is how you get people hyped for a game, with extreme violence and destruction. There really should be no other way to do it, quite honestly. Moving on from that and onto another cinematic trailer and trailers, we have the Old Republic cinematic trailers. And when it comes right down to it, there isn't enough explaining I can do to show off how awesome these are. There's really only one way to do it.
You didn't have to cut me off. Think I like you knew. Now we were nothing. I don't really need your love. You treat me like a stranger, and I feel so wrong. You didn't have to stood so long. Have you found your hands? Change your mind. I don't need that thought. Now you're just somebody who I used to know.
Yep, that's all. Go watch them. On to a more recent example of cinematic trailers, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. In the trailer we see the Suicide Squad, shocker, slacking off before being forced to take down some of Brainiac's robots. After that, Superman is shown taking a pilot from his jet, which King Shark exclaims that Superman did it to save the man, only for the Kryptonian to kill the pilot with his heat vision, which reveals to the Suicide Squad that their next target to take down is the Justice League. Also, Superman looks like John Cena, right? I'm not the only one who sees this. The dude quite literally just looks like him. I'm not crazy. I know John Cena when I see him, and that's John Cena, okay? In all seriousness, this trailer is a treat to watch. The banter the squad share with each other is written so organically and feels super genuine. It's full of charm, and the action isn't bad either. I also love the ending and how they all just point at Superman when Boomer asks who they're supposed to kill, which then the trailer cuts with a super clean transition and a banger of a song to go with it. As cool as these trailers are, and believe me, they are cool, I also find myself having a bit of an issue with them. They don't really show you what to expect from the game itself. And again, they 100% make for the most exciting trailers, but I still get left with a ton of questions afterwards. What's the gameplay like? How does it actually look? Can I expect the same level of writing from the trailer? Once again, they're super cool, fun to watch, and they do get me hyped. I'm super excited for the Suicide Squad game myself, even though I most likely won't be able to play it. I don't have a PS5, but I still am just left with a lot of questions I would like to be answered. Another issue, the quality of these trailers just doesn't equate to the quality of the actual game. The trailer could be a banger like the ones I previously showed, but the game could suck so hard it makes the trailer more of an embarrassment than something cool to look back on. Oftentimes, that's not the case. Heck, I can't even come up with an example where it was. That's mostly because these are AAA studios that get these trailers for their games, so it's a pretty safe assumption that at most the game will be, at worst, fine. Overall, those ads and trailers were dope, but I've been looking at nothing but good ads, really. And of course, there are bad video game commercials. They've been around for decades, but there's an assortment of ads that I would like to take a look at because they really don't deserve to be forgotten simply due to how awful they are. So, what do you say we take it back to 2012 and look at the absolutely god-awful Wii U commercials? Lord have mercy. I'm not gonna get into specific ads here, they're all equally terrible for the same reasons. It's a bunch of kids telling their parents why they should get a Wii U. I guess they didn't listen because this thing flopped compared to the competition. Here's the thing, I feel these ads would have been great for a game geared towards kids, but this is a console with a variety of different games, some of which people over the age of 12 will want to play, shocker. So making console ads that are just solely children and families ain't exactly a smart decision, now is it? And I know what you're saying, easy, the Wii was doing this as well. Yeah, well that's different. The Wii was doing something never done before, and it was actually interesting, unlike the plastic slab that the Wii U got. So, getting in on the family demographic was a smart decision at the time. But that ain't gonna work twice, homeboy. What they should have done was tell you what the tablet can do in the commercials. It was easier with the Wii because it incorporated stuff like sports into the motion controls, which everyone knows, so you just show people, swing it like a bat when playing baseball, swing it underhand when playing bowling, which is exactly what they did. Instead, you get people asking the $1,000,000, perfectly reasonable question that is, why does my controller have a TV? What does it do? And Nintendo looks at you, laughs, and says, here's kids trying to tell their parents that have lost all love for each other to buy this new console. At the end of the day, don't advertise an entire console using a bunch of children, how about that? And don't do that with Smash Bros either, that's an idea. Let's wrap this up, shall we? Ads and trailers in video games are a super important part of the entire gaming industry. You gotta show the consumers what they're gonna get into when buying a game. You gotta get them hyped. You need to show something memorable to give them that want to buy the game and have them keep that want until it finally releases. When you're good at your craft, you get stuff like Majora's Mask, Far Cry 6, and The Old Republic. If you're not, well, you get the Wii U. But with that all said, you all have yourselves a good rest of your day. Let me know anything I missed, because I know I definitely missed a lot. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I have to start saying that now. I'm Easily Easy, and I'll see you next time.